Welcome to No Man's Sky survival mode, and I'm starting this video down on the underwater section of my base because I think this is probably an appropriate place to start and to explain what I want to do in this video, and also probably explain the slightly strange title for this. For any of you guys who may have got the impression this is going to be my last No Man's Skies video, it's not, but I want to put that into context because in some ways it is going to be my last No Man's Sky video, if that makes sense. And probably the best way to explain this is the recent history of the Beyond update. Back in March, we got the first kind of a notification of the Beyond update. It told us that we were going to have VR and multiplayer. Then after a little bit of flurry, Halo Games went very quiet and of course left the one big question mark hanging, which is what was going to be in part 3. And I think we all got into the game of speculating what it would be and forming up wish lists. And then a few days ago we had the multiplayer trailer, which I did a short video on, which shows how kind of hyped up I was getting about it. And then of course in the last couple of days, especially yesterday, Sean Murray has given interviews to IGN and PC Gamer, and he's now started to fill in a vast amount of details, probably the best way to describe it, that's going to be in part 3. And I actually sat down and I went through it, the interviews, and I've actually still got the list on my desk right next to me of all the new features that are going to be in the game, the changes, the new textures, virtually everything's going to change. And then suddenly it just hit me, and I just literally sat for a couple of minutes and thought, Beyond is not an update. Beyond effectively is No Man's Sky 2.0. What we're going to see beyond is going to be almost a completely new game. The new features that be introduced, the effect of multiplayer and VR, and just to give you a slight taster, I don't really want to make this into a review of Beyond, is there's all sorts of new, Sean Murray's hinted at kind of multiple new base constructs, new textures for bases. We've seen that even familiar objects are going to be changed. The bases are going to need power, and then of course there's this new dimension of food and farming and taming creatures and riding them. And I think Sean Murray actually said that you'll be able to tame creatures and milk creatures. Although how you're going to do that, I don't know. And I think Evlon made a very relevant point in the comment to the trailer video I made, when he said that No Man's Sky is moving in the direction of Imperium, making it more survivally. And then that's really when certain things started to hit home, because I've played No Man's Sky since 2016. That's 3 years, and I can honestly say that with a few exceptions that I've played No Man's Sky for a lesser or greater degree virtually every day for 3 years. Sometimes it's only been 15 minutes. And No Man's Sky has been very much my go-to game when I just want to chill out and relax, especially after a little bit of a hectic day or I've got a bit stressed. The idea of just coming out like this and just swimming around and looking, even on planets like this where I've done it before, there's just an air of calm that's always set No Man's Sky away from other games, is probably the best way to explain it. That it's always been that game it's almost reliable, comfortable, because yes, No Man's Sky's got threats. You can run into sentinel walkers and things like that. So as we get out there, because it'd be a bit ironic if I actually die in this video. Yeah, there are threats, but in many ways you can spend hours just going out exploring new planets as long as you take care. Manual save there. And that's what's got me into this slightly reflective mood, that when Beyond comes out, it's going to be bright, new, brashy, almost a completely new game. Hello, creature. And I say it's going to be really new and shiny. And my main concern is, will it still be the No Man's Sky that I've been playing for 3 years? And that's made me a bit more reflective. And this is why I'm kind of just wandering through my base at the moment, looking around all the things I've built, because there is a very real possibility, and I'm going to be completely honest guys, this thought has hit me now, that given the fact that the amount of change that's been introduced, and of course we've got this Nexus which will allow for multiplayer interaction, and of course it's going to also, Sean Murray said it's going to be a source of missions, ship upgrades, body upgrades, and shops, and whatever shops are. I mean, another thought that came to me is that, does that mean that the old space stations may be disappearing, that if you want your ship upgrades you're going to have to call in a Nexus, and he says that you'll be able to summon it anywhere. And to me that might be a little bit of a game breaker from the fact that, oh, I want to upgrade my ship, right, I'll just go up into space, summon Nexus, go in there, pop in there, upgrade the ship. Does that take away some of the feeling of exploration? I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? And that's why I literally called this video Goodbye No Man's Sky, because will the new No Man's Sky 2 have the same feel as No Man's Sky does now? I mean, will I feel the same about it? I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to not play No Man's Sky, but the experience will be different. I mean, I'm trying to, I must admit, I am struggling to explain how I feel, and I think probably the best analogy I can come up with is, in the last 10 years I've moved 3 times. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have felt this, but there's this feeling that when the day comes to move, you get up in the morning, everything's normal, and then the removal men turn up, and then they take all the furniture out, and then eventually you get to a point where you're effectively stood in an empty house, no furniture, everything's been packed away and removed. And for me, it's often it's in the kitchen. You stood there with the house keys, and you're looking around, and in your mind you can still see the highs and lows and the experiences contained within that house, but you know that eventually you've got to turn around, go out, close the door, lock the door, and walk away. And then of course when you get to the new house, you open the door and you walk in knowing that you've got a completely new tapestry to build new experiences. But there is a definitive line between the old house and the new house, and that's the way I'm feeling about No Man's Sky at the moment, that there will be this definitive line between people like me who've played it for 3 years, and probably quite a lot of you guys as well. There will be the No Man's Sky 1 experience, and then there'll be the No Man's Sky 2 experience. It will be a completely new story. And I suppose in some ways what I'm doing is building up to the fact that this is the reason why I wanted to make this video, and almost draw a line under No Man's Sky 1, and then I'm not going to make another video when Beyond comes out. I'm going to effectively start a new playthrough, and to support that process, I'm not even going to now be looking at any videos about people breaking down the new features. I'm going to keep away from reading it. I'm just going to often play other games, because I don't want to start a new playthrough with preconceived ideas about what I'm going to get in experiences. What I want to do is try and capture that experience that I got when I played No Man's Sky for the first time, when it was brand new, all shiny, back in 2016. And so that's the reason why when I come back after Beyond, I will be playing a permadeath series, assuming that it is going to be an option in No Man's Sky 2, because there's nothing that actually says that the normal start mechanism will be there. I mean, starting the game may involve just spawning on somewhere and summoning the Nexus, and away you go. I mean, there's no guarantee at the moment. No one's confirmed that the current start for No Man's Sky will remain the same. I mean, I'm prepared to accept that it probably will be, but there's no guarantee. But that's the way I want to experience No Man's Sky Beyond. I think I will call it No Man's Sky Beyond, because that's what it's going to be, and I want to experience it from the ground up. I mean, there is a possibility that maybe for like some of the manufacturing and farming, and I think there's also automation in bases, I may still come back to this series, assuming that it is still playable, because there is a very real possibility that we may all have to start again in this brand new galaxy. I mean, there's no guarantee that there's going to be multiple galaxies. There's nothing to say that maybe the new No Man's Sky Beyond will just be inside the Euclid galaxy. I mean, that's just another possibility. So the possibilities are endless. I'm starting to speculate what is going to be into Beyond, so I'm going to stop there, guys. So that is the way I'm going to play it, guys, is that I'm going to come in after Beyond with a new playthrough, maybe with occasional videos on features that I want to explore, and I'll share that experience with you. And it will be permadeath if it's possible, and there's a good chance we'll probably get killed a couple of times because we won't understand the mechanics. And of course, you never know how hostile things are going to be, because another feature that's been mentioned is base defenses. So the question is what you're going to be defending against. Does that mean that multiplayer could involve PvP, which again will introduce new hazards to permadeath? And again, I'm not sure how permadeath will work in the multiplayer mode, because I mean, we've got no idea what the relationship between single player and multiplayer will be, even if it exists. So there's lots of unknowns, and that's why I think, and again, returning, I know I keep saying it, guys, that's why I do really want to experience No Man's Sky Beyond from the beginning, rather than just go in with a great big pile of cash and loads of nanites and say, oh, look at this cool feature, I can buy this. I just want to have that experience and share it with you guys. I don't really want to go out and explore planets. I think I'm just going to have a wander around this base here and see what's here. I mean, it's a little while since I've been here. I know there's some hostile creatures out here. That's supposed to be better. Better reload the bolt caster just in case. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a wander around and keep talking. Just breathe in the atmosphere of exploring and doing it. I mean, again, there's maybe, and so that I just take these memories with me. And of course, in some ways, I can treat this video as a personal vlog. So in any time in the future that I get a little bit sentimental about what No Man's Sky once was, I can come back and watch it. And of course, the other thing is that they are introducing new races, and the NPCs will be walking around. So that will change the experience. Hello, guys. And I wouldn't fancy trying to milk him. Riding him could be fun, though. Okay, I mean, getting up on his back, he doesn't want to feed them. So maybe some creatures will be untameable, but I mean, that could be. So we're just going to have a little bit of a wander over here. Actually, just do a little bit of a scan round. That's what we got there. Armored clam. Humming eggs. Obviously, I cleared out everything around my base here. I know the fact that they say that the colours are going to be deeper. They're going to bring back the old release 1 type colours. They're going to be a bit deeper rather than having this softer, more washed out look. In fact, what I will probably do, guys, I will make this promise that I will come into this series after Beyond comes out and give you a little bit of an update of what has actually happened to my base, and if there's been any changes, whether the base has been destroyed, and more importantly, whether the planet's changed. So maybe I'll do a video on that as well, just to keep you guys informed of the situation. I suppose that's probably the polite way. So I'm not sure what I want to do now. I'm just going to wander across the surface here on the base. Maybe we'll go through and actually, I know what I'm going to do, guys. We're going to get back to the base, and I think just to add a bit more to this video, I'm going to go up and call the freighter so that I can just take a good look at the ships that I hardly ever used. But I mean, there's Stubby in there, so and again, I mean, with the changes to manufacturing and the possibility of automation and factories, I mean, the whole manufacturing process could change. I mean, we may even be manufacturing totally different items. I know we're going to be cooking food. So let's just get in here, and I think we'll just go there, and let's just flip the filter. And there's also going to be changes to the user interface. Sean Murray said that there will be a new galaxy map as well, and then also a new milestones, so there's a good chance that we may actually get new milestones, which is another reason why I would want to start a game, because they could change all the storylines as well. You know, the Traveller storyline, the Atlas Path, I'm assuming that they will still be in there, and I think it'd be good to just experience them from a new perspective as well. I'm not sure where I am, but that was probably one of the longest teleporter journeys I've ever had in No Man's Sky. That must have lasted, I mean, I'm going to chop the middle out for you guys, but that lasted nearly, what, over a minute? Possibly pushing a minute and a half. So I've got no idea where I actually am after that. But it's not important. So let's just get out here. And we're just gonna summon the freighter. I mean, we could end up with new freighters, and of course we're gonna have the new frigates. I mean, it'd be interesting to see whether the frigate missions carry on. I assume they will. But I mean, there was also the concept of multiplayer frigate missions. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, it'd be really great if you could fly a frigate. Capital vessel. Then jump out. And of course we got our fighter here. And again, it would be very interesting to see what the new ships look like. I mean, there's obviously going to be new textures. Of course, there's going to be customization. So I'm sure plenty of players are going to let their minds run riot. But at the same time, it'd be just interesting to see what you start off with. Of course, we've got the unique ships as well. I wonder if these will change and we'll have new types of unique ships. Which, again, if we customize them, I can see having some pretty extraordinary ships coming up in the future. Here's the Talon of Fire. Of course, we've got Tin Can the First, which is one of my second hauler. Of course, we got the good old reliable Stubby the Second, which replaced Stubby the First, which was a really good workhorse for quite a long part in this series. Getting a little bit sentimental now, but at the same time, I think I need to accept that if we're going to be playing an almost brand new game, it'd be better to start again, get new ships, all new things. But I suppose we can keep the names like Wanderlust and Stubby. I'm just copying out. I can't even remember if I've actually got any outstanding frigate missions actually. Have a quick look now. I think I cached them up and cleared them just in preparation for Beyond. And of course through here we will have the freighter base, which I've never built up. Again, will this be an option? I mean, will this have a totally different form? I mean, it'd be really cool to have a manufacturing capability within here. If we can. Antimatter housing, though. Quite useful. I mean, there's a vast amount of possibilities that will be associated with Beyond, but will everything be the same? Do we want everything to be the same? Well, that was a pretty good haul. Anyway, so that's a bit of a memory lane trip. So that is my capital vessel. We're just going to go down here now and let's keep wandering around. Apologies that this may seem a bit kind of downbeat compared to all the enthusiasm around Beyond, but I mean, how do you guys feel about it? I mean, do you feel the same way, or are you just so looking forward to Beyond and where it's going to take us that you're not too worried about leaving the old comfortable No Man's Sky behind? I think we're just going to jump in the ship and we're just going to fly out here. And so I would really love to be able to fly a frigate. See what planets we got here. Oh, we got hostiles coming in, so maybe a good way to finish this video up is with a little bit of a battle. Again, there's another concept here with the battles that we're gonna have multiplayer powers. Of course, that leads. Oh, okay, it's only a bounty ship. I suppose we could go and pick on him. Yeah, I mean, same with the battles. I mean, it'd be interesting to see whether you're going to get multiplayer missions to take out hostile pirates or attack freighters and things like that. Oh, there he is up over there. I'm coming for you. I'm just going to tag him. Not that the tagging system works particularly that well. I suppose we better have. What we can do is get close and see if we can effectively just shoot him. Right. Got a lock, but ow. If we can get a rocket strike on him. Yeah. Oh, missed him. Okay, we're gonna have to just use the photon cannon. We got support. And in fact, it'd be quite interesting in a multiplayer battle. I wouldn't do it in permadeath because there's a good chance you may actually get shot down by friendly fire, especially if you actually happen to hit someone by accident and then they decide that they want to even the odds. But maybe in this series see if we can get into a little bit of trouble. Right, what have I got? Hey! I think we better start heading. My standing with the Corvax is decreased. Oh well, did I actually hit that ship by accident? Never mind. Right, I think just to wind this video up, guys, I'm just going to come back in here and we'll just have a look around the space station. Because again, will these space stations still will be here, and will they still look like this? Because well, I'll just let the spaceship land first. Because what Sean Murray said is that the upgrade points will be in the Nexus. So will we still have this arrangement with, say, this here to upgrade our avatar and get the necessary upgrades for inventory and our ships, or will this all completely change? I mean this is a question to ask, is will space stations still look like this? I mean, or will you have to go to the Nexus? So many questions, and despite a growing amount of information, the only way we're going to find the answers is to get in and play the game. And the same over here. Of course, these NPCs will probably be walking around, and with my luck they'll probably walk around a lot faster than I can catch them, and hopefully we might get a bit more deeper story. And of course, will these mission guys still be relevant again, or will we have to go to the Nexus to get the missions? And considering the fact that you'll be able to summon the Nexus, will that actually weaken the whole mission system? Or because it's multiplayer, will it strengthen it? I mean, that's another question. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Hope I haven't been too downbeat and depressed you over my feelings, because I will want to emphasize, guys, I am looking forward to Beyond, but once I cross that threshold and Beyond is delivered, I've still got a feeling I'm going to look back with the last 3 years of playing No Man's Sky with a little bit of nostalgia, especially if the Beyond is a bit more robust, full of energy and vitality. But I might still miss No Man's Sky 1, I think I'll call it, in the long term. Only time will tell, but this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting, and I will see you beyond.